G'day everybody, welcome back to Sprouts Tarot. This is going to be a reading for the week ahead. As per usual, go by intuition and pick the deck that speaks to you the most. The timestamps are in the comment section down below. So this is deck 1, 2, and 3. Okay, I'll see you over the other side. Well, welcome back everyone. So if you pick this deck, then you are in for a very lovely surprise this week. You're going to receive a gift of some sort, and this gift can be material or immaterial. So it could be like a gift in the form of good advice or good counseling, or even somebody lending you their ear when you feel a little bit low. Or it could be, like winning $5 from a scratchy, getting a box of chocolates or something like that. So a gift is in store for you this week. Lovely, lovely energy. Now, what we're going to do is look at the sequence of the week ahead and see when this lovely present is going to hit, this lovely gift. So this is Kunti, so the mother, a very important maternal figure in India's Mahabharata epic story. And she receives a child, Karna, from the sun god Surya. So that's an amazing gift, but you're probably not going to get a child, but you are going to get some sort of gift that's going to bring you much merriment and joy this week. Okay, so let's see, what is our main theme? So let's get a significator first. Oh, this one's, there we go, King of Pentacles, excellent. This is very positive. King of Pentacles. Oh, I don't even have to do that. So let's just put it here. Let me see. Yeah, we'll just put that here. That's the leading card. So, yeah, this matches the good vibes. Okay, let's see. Can we fit? Let's see how it's working out. If I move this here, and I can just fit this there as well. Beautiful. Okay, let's put this aside. And let's see what is connecting this. Alrighty. Oh. Okay, so the overarching energy is going to be very good because the King of Pentacles basically frames this reading along with this gift card. So this week is definitely going to be positive. But the actual sequence, there are a few points. The beginning of the week, there is some sort of maybe sadness or disappointment, which basically, you know how we start thinking about things and then we get bogged down and we think about what we should be doing. And so this can run to the extreme of like having really crazy fantasy like type of solutions, or we run into that depressive mode. But it is during this beginning of the week that the gift is coming. So yeah, this could be the Monday, Tuesday range. There's a good enough chance that this could be a monetary gift simply because the King of Pentacles is framing this reading. But the good news and the gift is definitely going to arrive. If this reading rings true, it will arrive before Wednesday. So this will hit in the beginning of the week. Midweek onwards, you are going to maybe go a little bit within and seek counseling. Now, the person, because you still feel caught up in this situation, maybe one aspect of it is going to be resolved. Like if there is a financial quandary of some sort, there is going to be a little bit of like small bits and pieces of money that will come through. So like I said before, maybe you buy a scratchy and then you win like say $50 or something. So a small amount of money is definitely going to come along if it is a financial issue and it has a strong resonance that it may be financial. But by midweek, the actual bulk of the problem or the core of the issue is not really resolved yet. And this is where maybe you will seek counseling. The person who you're going to seek counseling for, on just this superficial reading, is probably going to be somebody who is likely to be male and more of a darker aesthetic. So I'm talking about dark hair, dark eyes. But this person, if he's not a lover, he's a really good friend. Okay, so he's a really, really good mate, somebody who's really dependable, that you can actually spill your guts to, and this person's not going to run away or get freaked out. So this person is going to give you some time and to let you pour out your grievances. So that's about midweek. Now towards the end of the week here, things are going to start to be balanced out. So if there was any tension or anything that needs resolving, it will reach a conclusion. At least one stage, part one of this episode, the conclusion of it is going to be reached by the end of the week. So any kind of sleepless nights or any kind of thoughts which keep you awake at night, there is going to be a shift in that energy and you're going to do something about it, definitely by the weekend. So there is resolution in store. If the issue is regarding this kind of younger male who's kind of darker featured, or somebody who was born at the end of the year as well, the kind of October period is this energy, then it's going to be resolved. But this person, either way, whether it is a lover or a friend or the person who is directly involved in this issue, by midweek, there is going to be a discussion held, or there is an opportunity for you to have an open heart discussion with this person. But yes, so the energies are actually quite good. Whatever the situation is this week, it is good news coming through. So what it looks like right now is that at the beginning of the week, you are going to receive a little bit of financial help, or if it really doesn't connect with money, then yeah, you're going to get kind of guidance or counseling or something, but it does look financial. Midweek, you're going to have a time or the opportunity to resolve or get things off your chest. Either if this person is directly involved, then you'll talk to this person directly, or you will talk about this problem with someone who is of the description that I said before. And at the end of the week, this problem will basically receive its either final conclusion, if it is a small problem, but if it is an ongoing saga, then stage 1, 2, 3, 4 of it is going to be resolved at the end of this week, because whatever worries or anxieties that you have is going to take on a new direction. So, as always, thank you for allowing me to read for you, and I hope to see you again next week for another weekly reading. Bye. Welcome back, Group 2. So if you pick this deck, then for this week, you must do your best to try to remain impartial. So the anchoring energy of this is basically not to get involved in any kind of disputes where you have to pick a side. So this character here on this card is Balrama. So Balrama is Krishna's brother. So if anybody knows that huge epic in Hindu mythology, the biggest fight, the Kurukshetra War, I think it's called Kurukshetra War, where two sides were battling. They're basically warrior tribes. But Balrama is a farmer. So the only thing that he knows how to do really well is to grow things and take care of the land, take care of nature. So even amongst the disputes between his family and the others, he chose to remain impartial and basically not take a side and not join in. And so this is the energy that's basically tailgating you this week, is to basically keep clear, and especially don't take sides on anything if it is not something that you are very familiar with, like not your area of expertise. So that's a cautionary message. But now let's see what is in the stars this week. Let's see what the actual sequence is. It seems like an interesting energy. So I don't know whether this has this kind of issue has already begun in your life, or whether it's starting this week. But any major group dynamic which involves maybe, you having to choose between something is going to maybe come up this week. Okay, let's see. What's our significator? So significator for group 2, please. Okay. Oh, yeah, 2 of cups. Okay, so this is usually like a relationship anchor, right? Let's see. Let me put it here. Can we get it in? Yeah, beautiful. Let's put this down. Okay, so let's see. What's the sequence for this week, please? Okay. Yeah, there's going to be a turn of some sort. Let me check this screen. Let me see. Can I fit all this? Okay. And let me get some energy readouts. Okay, I can see someone's trying to call me here. Someone is trying to call me, my father-in-law, but I'm not picking up. I'll call him back later, but oh, we got the Joker. That's excellent. Okay, so like I said before, there's the need to be impartial, and the grounding energy of this week is basically a meeting of minds, because that's what the 2 of Cups basically is. It's a coming together in a relationship of some sort, be it business, romantic, blah, blah, blah. Now, the biggest thing here is the start of the week. It's a free will card, and it's a free will card in the sense that there's going to be a change in the way that the current situation has been going on. This has been a situation. This is a situation of some sort, because basically it's in suspended animation for quite some time, but now that's going to change. And during this time in which this little rabbit is not looking at this rabbit has had the opportunity to do self-reflection and to look at things from a different perspective. So while this one is basically going in its own kind of internal journey, this one has had a very good opportunity to see something reflected back to it. So if this is you, then maybe you would have encountered someone or something to show you this current situation from a different angle and a different perspective, so that you can basically just see the situation in a different way. And you've got the Joker here, which is the wild card, which means now this choice is in your own hands, what you choose to do with this new information and this new perspective. Now, the middle of the week here, this is very good, because this is coming together, meeting of minds. There is going to be a new opportunity to sort out anything which has caused in the past for this dichotomy to happen, like this split in the personality. So what it looks like is in this particular relationship, one person appears one way, and later on it seems as though that person changed. And so it's one partner in this particular relationship that seems as though he or she has undergone this huge, like 180. And this is where I think the accusations or the misunderstandings occur, because the person thought, oh, I'm dealing with this person, but now this person is kind of like a ferocious bear or dog, depending on what you see here. So there's kind of like maybe a kind of bipolar um, kind of twist to this, like person's characteristic or your partner's characteristic, or maybe even yourself. But that is going to somewhat change here, because there is an opportunity to basically have a meeting of minds and to resolve things, to resolve issues, because the opportunity is coming here. Towards the end of the week, the ability or the desire to walk away from something because you couldn't find the way out, suddenly there's a hit of inspiration. You're going to be able to peer through and see a solution. So it's going to kind of hit as like an epiphany of some sort. And the initial desire to walk away is possibly going to go through quite a big shift or change, because this card is exceptionally good. So this card is a meeting of minds, the formation of maybe even a new relationship, and this can be in all areas, friendship, love, etc. Or it can mean the new phase in an existing relationship is going to come about, because this is a very good card in terms of relationships and forming, maintaining. This difficult part here is basically there's a restriction or limitation on the existing relationship that needs basically somebody to do some work and for the other person to respond. So this is where the heavy lifting is going to hit midweek. But towards the end of the week, even if you initially had feelings of walking away, of moving away or leaving this particular situation or relationship, it's going to be resolved, because you've got this happy card here that comes along and tries to pull everything back together. But the main anchor this week, basically the ability to remain impartial, even within the relationship. There are some roles in which we do, and we do very well, and it's good to keep on doing that, especially when tensions run high, and not try to go over and try to do what the other person's kind of quote unquote role is. The time to negotiate these differences are when both parties are calm and they're cool and collected. But when you're in mid-battle, it's going to be very hard to convince the other person to make big changes if it's coming from one side versus like a mutual meeting of minds and both agreeing that you're going to change on some level. But the main theme here is basically reconciliation, or meeting kind of like new person in order to get some sort of like good relationship feels going on this week. And but for me, it doesn't look so much like a new relationship, rather than reconciliation of something that was already an issue that had been plaguing your particular relationship for quite some time, that's going to undergo through a massive change this week. And the resolution will hit, and basically you're good friends at the end of this week. This card is your happy card. All right, so that's all I have for you. Best of luck, and I hope to see you again next week for another weekly prediction. Bye. Welcome back, Group 3. So if you pick this deck, the upcoming energy for this week is the expression of gratitude. So this card here shows the warrior Kripa. So he was basically abandoned, or he wasn't like of a natural birth, but he was found in a forest by this, I think, royal family. And then they grew him up and trained him and gave him nourishment. Him and his twin sister Kripa. And so when they grew up, they basically had a feeling of indebtedness towards his family, and then they helped them during an epic battle. So the main idea behind this card is to always have gratitude in our hearts for people who have helped us and even for like serendipitous situations in which everything seems divinely orchestrated, have the good grace and also the humility to acknowledge those who have helped us. So this energy is going to be very prevalent this week. Now, I don't know exactly why that would be, but tarot can give us a hint. So what we're going to do now is see what is on offer this coming week. Okay, so first, what's the significator for group 3? Can I have a significator for group 3, please? Oh, there we go. 2 of Pentacles. Ooh, lovely. Okay, let me see the sequence. What's the sequence here? Oh, something going on in the frying pan, flambe or some sort. Oh, he's juggling 2 things. Okay, so what's happening this week for group 3? Sorry. Okay. Oh, page, we need a message. I'll get a message. Now, let me just check that everything can fit in. And here. Yep, beautiful. Oh, wow. We've got the whole group here. You got the king, you got the queen, you got the page, you got the knight. Whoa. What's going on? The whole gang's here. The whole gang is here. Oh, I think I have an idea of what this is. Oh, but okay, before I start shooting my mouth, let's see. What's holding these sequences together? Okay. What's the glue? Wow. Twos. Balancing, a week of balance. Okay, let's see. Oh, we've got 3 exactly. Oh. Alrighty, and we need a message because we have this lovely page card. So let me get a message from the page. Page of Wands is about to start on a new adventure after a period of lull. Okay, dear Page of Wands, what do you want group 3 to know? Okay, what's the message? Ha! Gratitude, receive. You're being asked to be open to receiving universal gifts. These could come in the form of love, money, compliments, healing energy, and universal wisdom. Know that you're worthy of these gifts and open up to them. Beautiful. Now, this particular reading is going to be a little bit, it could be a little bit of a curly one, depending on the actual situation, because there is a lot of energy going on here. Now, the important lesson here is gratitude, acknowledging those who have helped us, and also to have grace in our hearts and humility, all that I said before. And the advice here is to be more receptive of love and compliments and gifts which come your way. And the theme of this week is going to be balancing your life in some way. Here we have, it looks like sweets with savory. Now, main dish and side dish. Now, why I say that is because this Queen of Pentacles, which is also the Queen of Diamonds, is appearing to have some resonance here in the whole sequence. Now, let me tell you what I mean. This Queen of Diamonds energy, so this could be you, is someone who is a more mature woman. So this is an adult woman. Now, suddenly she's got the youthfulness of the girl's energy. Okay, so I'm playing with archetypal symbols here. Okay, so, but it's basically like a renewal of passion, vigor. Because if you take a look at this page of wands card, she's like climbing this tree. And it doesn't look as though she's got the necessary preparatory gear that usually comes with doing something, quote unquote dangerous. It's kind of spontaneous, on the spur of the moment type thing. But this only comes about after a long period of inner work and thinking where there was immobility. Now, this queen here, generally, this is a woman who doesn't really look her age. So you either look a lot younger or a lot older than what your biological age indicates. And you are somebody who's pretty much grounded in reality. So, somebody who's really quite aware. And so, in order for you to kind of hit this new passion after a long time in like thinking, contemplating what your life situation is like a very, very good thing, because generally you've got your head on your shoulders and your feet on the ground type of person. Now, the beginning of this week, it looks as though you're moving towards this new version of yourself. Midweek, you're going to meet someone. Okay, so here we go. We've got the Queen of Pentacles again meeting the Knight of Cups. The Knight of Cups serendipitously appears. So maybe you are going to go for social drinks on a Wednesday or Thursday, and you're going to meet this young'un. So, because this is the Knight of Cups versus the Queen of Pentacles, and this is the card of meeting new people, new love. So it looks as though there is some sort of connection being built midweek. There is the opportunity to have this connection. It's most likely going to be an after work thing if you are working, or it's going to be a nighttime thing, like a nighttime sort of event in which this meeting could take place. But it is going to give you renewed vigor and renewed passion. It is a meeting in which you will feel happy to have. Now, towards the end of the week, it seems as though the other puzzle in your life is here. Because like I was saying, we've got the whole gamut of the whole characters here. Now, this could represent the partner in your stable relationship, so the long-term live-in boyfriend or husband. And another interpretation for the beginning of the week is you have a younger female friend who takes you out of this pocket of maybe worry or this melancholy or this quiet pocket in your life, and you have like a younger female acquaintance friend who invites you out for this evening, and then you meet this younger fella. Now, the longer term relationship, husband, live-in boyfriend, whatever arrangement that you have, is also going through something. Now, this King of Cups is usually somebody who's quite assured, but he does look calm, but he looks, a tad despondent as well. It looks as though he's contemplating life, thinking about things very seriously. I mean, he is somebody who is in control of his emotions. Yeah, that's the King of Cups, but he does look as though he is thinking about his whole life as a panoramic view kind of session, right? And this Eight of Spades also is the connector card, which means there is happiness, but this happiness is not the felicitous, joyful, ha-ha happiness. This is kind of more relief that comes after a period of stress. Like the hardest bit is now over, so the happiness comes from the fact that the most harrowing parts of the journey are over. And he's thinking about how to move on as well. So, because over here there is a new scene, that new scenic route time that he's taking, or it could be literal that he's planning to basically freshen the way that he perceives the world, to broaden his horizons. Maybe he's thinking about something to do on the weekend, which will allow him to gain a more spiritual or emotional connection to himself. But his worldview needs changing as well. So it looks like this week, besides the obvious connotations of the main dish and the side dish kind of thing going on with the younger guy and the established partner, it does look like, in terms of a foundational relationship that you're having, it seems as though both parties are kind of engaging in more of a kind of cooling down, cooling off kind of phase, where both parties are exploring what is outside of their normal circle or boundary. And one is possibly going to do it more of a solo journey in exploring the other facets of life, spiritual, emotional, natural, what nature has to bring. And the other seems to be more engaged in developing another, like, interpersonal connection with another person. Or, and it doesn't, okay, like I said, I literally said main dish and side dish, but it doesn't have to really run the full gamut of that. Of course, it also can, but it can also mean getting a perspective from a younger male, or a male with a different way of looking at life from your partner as well. So because they're the same energies, they're the same energies. They both offer love. But this is, just imagine, if you will, this is like millennial, this is Gen Z, okay? So Gen X, millennial, boomer, Gen X, but you get the drift, right? So it's the same energy, but expressed in two different kind of time frames, or even cultural frames. Let's say you are with someone who is from the African continent, and then you meet someone who's from the Asiatic continent, kind of thing, right? So you're just basically getting two different perspectives. But traditionally in tarot, this does denote age, okay? So this one's the younger fella, this is the older fella. Yeah, so this week, what it looks like is a balancing of emotions between, like, in a kind of long-term relationship in which there is a lot of milestones and a lot of mileage being clocked up in terms of the actual relationship, in which you should express, like, happiness and gratitude that this relationship was part of your life, because there would have been many good times maybe before you hit this roadblock. But this week there does seem to be kind of like a refreshment energy type of thing going on in your life as well. Okay, let's see. What advice can we get? Let's ask a military strategist. Military strategists are very good with love as well. Because what is love? but a game of strategy and tactics. Okay, let's see. Dear Sinsu, what advice can you give to Group 3 for this week? What advice can you give for Group 3 this week? The highest form of a generalship is to balk the enemy's plans. The next best is to prevent the junction of the enemy's forces. The next in order is to attack the enemy's army in the field, and the worst policy of all is to besiege walled cities. Prevention is better than the cure. We are all generals in our army of one. We are responsible for how we live and relate to others. As thwarting an enemy's plans is better than laying siege to their city, so looking after your health is better than waiting until you get sick, and managing your budget is better than falling into debt. Be responsible for yourself and for others. Ooh, very good. So yeah, this is definitely a week in which you need to make a grand assessment of this relationship or this particular connection that you have. What things can you do from your side should you wish to continue with this relationship, what can you do in order to maybe to honor the initial agreement or the kind of connection that you have, that you both agreed on a specific term. And if you really do decide that it is time to move on, how best to do this without inflicting unnecessary pain, and maybe future regrets with the I could have, I should have, I would have, that kind of talk as well. So yeah, so it's definitely a good chance to get a different perspective, especially from the younger crowd in your current relationship dynamics. And it's also good to have a little bit of me time so you can work things out and how you wish to proceed in this stable long-term kind of relationship as well. Okay, so that's all I have for you for this week. Thank you as always for allowing me to read for you, and I look forward to seeing you again next week. Bye.